again. My name's Stacey. This is John Kirk. We're going to talk about some of the formal stuff here, just to finish off our 10 series, our series of 10. With John being very familiar with this kind of thing, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. Stacey, basically, if you go right back to the beginning, the things that you're going to need to do to stay on the right side of the tax office, first of all, go to asic.gov.au. You can get yourself an ABN there. Now, the thing is, it doesn't cost you any money. You go in there, and the ABN can be set up in your name, or you might wish to get a business name. So, first of all, you get your ABN under your name, and then you can register a business name, which costs, I believe, around about $34 for 1 year, $77, I think it is, for 3 years. You don't have to have a business name, but you can choose to. You can have anywhere up to 5, as a matter of fact. From that point onwards, what happens is that you will get your ABN sent out to you from the tax office. Now, that could be instantaneous. It could be within 24 hours. At worst, it's around about 28 days. If you need it urgently, you can contact the tax office and they'll get it worked out for you fairly quickly.
Yeah, just want to jump in on that 28 days. Typically, if their information on you clashes with what you've entered into the data boxes on the ASIC website, then basically a human needs to get involved. So there can be a 28-day delay on that. Otherwise, it's pretty much instant.
Yeah, most of the time it is. Sometimes there has been a few little hiccups with some of my clients, and it's taken a few days for them to get it. But generally speaking, 24 hours is around about what you could expect from them.
Absolutely.
Now, with regards to other things that you might need along the way, I should also point out, just before I go any further, is that what happens if you don't have an ABN? Okay, now if you don't have an ABN and you want to deal with another person who's in business, they will normally ask for that, especially if you're going to invoice them. Most business people will not deal with you unless you've got an ABN. Stacey, you wanted to say something about IP Australia, is that right?
Yeah, look, I think that's an important thing. Along with the business name, there are plenty of other businesses, so there might be something car cleaning services. There's going to be plenty of business names that are very similar, and you might be able to register a business name and you might be able to go and to use it and stuff like that. But another component, just to really back up your security, back up to the the safety, is to get your intellectual property registered. So that can be things like a logo, that can be the actual business name, and slogans that go with it. I've known stories of people who have had business cards, brochures, websites, and even branded their car. And even been in business for 6 months, been trading, only to find that they've been closed down or at least had some kind of conflict with another business of a very similar name in the similar nature. So you can have McDonald's tractors, but you obviously can't have McDonald's meals, and so on and so on. So you can have a similar name, and if it's your family name, then you may have certain grounds around those things. So it's typically a lawyer scenario. You do have to get a lawyer involved when you're talking about things like trademarking and intellectual property and so on. And there is often a 12-month delay because they have to put it out to tender and it needs to be exposed to the public, I believe, something like that. Just want to go back to that ASIC thing as well. So that stands for Australian Securities and Investment Commission. So asic.com.au. Or it could be .gov.au.
It is. It's asic.gov.au.
Yeah.
It probably needs a little bit more explanation there too. When you do get your ABN, you can get it in the form of a sole trader, a partnership, a company, or a trust. It's not for us to go through all of those at the moment, but what you're going to need to do is carefully consider what structure you want to set it up in.
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously, you're going to be a sole trader if it's only you. If maybe it's you and your partner, you might consider a partnership or a small family company. Yeah. But that's not for us to go into right here.
Yeah, so we talk about that, all of this stuff that you've heard over the last 10 series. This is an introduction to what we do in the ABN School Workshop. So, we do go into detail, and because you've got myself and John there on the day, you can definitely ask these questions and get a lot of clarification. But in the meantime, make sure you get those things done, and please do check your name before you go spending all that money on graphics and, getting all your bits and pieces built and that sort of stuff. I've heard some pretty big stories around that, and we don't want you to get in trouble by some big guns. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed and had some great benefits out of there, and it's been a pleasure. Thanks very much. ABN School.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, look, one last thing before you go. When you get into ASIC, when you get into that website, or you go to the ATO website, by the way, make sure you keep your reputation nice with the ATO. They're people, they're actually there to help you. So call them if you've got problems. But while you're on ATO.gov and while you're on ASIC.gov, get lost in there. All right, dig through those 100,000 pages, because we want you to experience why we've put ABN School together, because that's what it's all about. You go get lost in those websites, you come back to us, and we'll help you make sense out of it. We're translating industry jargon, and we're making business basics nice and easy for you.
That's it.
Rock and roll.